Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and thank you so much for watching today. Thank you guys. If this is your first time on this channel, please do not go without subscribing. Subscribe now so that you don't forget, alright? Thank you so much for supporting the movement. In today's video, as you can see from the screen, I am going to be talking about studies in Luxembourg, everything that involves studies in Luxembourg. But before I continue, let's talk about Luxembourg. And for those of us who don't know, Luxembourg is the richest country, if not the richest, one of the richest in Europe. Okay, and its most populated city, the Luxembourg city, is the richest city in Europe. And like I said, Luxembourg is a landlocked country in Western Europe, and it's also a political powerhouse of the European Union. All right, the Court of Justice is found in Luxembourg. I recently just noticed this, and international students choose to study in Luxembourg nowadays. A lot of them are looking for means to go to Luxembourg. This is because Luxembourg has a modern society, it is rich, and it has a multilingual and multicultural status. That is to say, in Luxembourg, there are three languages spoken: the Luxembourgish, and they also speak the German, and they also speak, there is another language I'm forgetting, and English is also being spoken in Luxembourg. And they have a rich, like, let me say, a huge or rich city in terms of history, all right? They have a mixed population of Dutch, Germans, and the French people. And Luxembourg was invaded during World War II, which led them to the founding member of the European Union. That is, they are also a big member, a very big member of the European Union, a very big member of the United Nations, and they are also a member of the NATO community. All right. So, like I said, the people in Luxembourg and the Luxembourg culture is quite huge, and the languages spoken there are different. All right, in terms of people who live there. Most of the people in Luxembourg don't live in Luxembourg. Most of them live in France, Belgium, especially Belgium and Germany. Most of the people who work in Luxembourg are from Germany. So now, like I said, Luxembourg is a home of over 600,000 people. All right, it's a very small. In fact, it's the smallest country in Europe, as I know, and the population is made up of Luxembourgers and some few German minorities as well. All right, and the country's GDP is the highest in the world, if not one of the highest. And international students like to move to these countries to study in most of their universities, and most of these universities in Luxembourg include the University of Luxembourg, Luxembourg School of Business, all right, Sacred Heart University of Luxembourg, and a host of others like the United Business Institute of Luxembourg, and there are so many others. But you have to understand that as an international student moving to Luxembourg, there are a variety of programs, and the program depends on, let me say, how much you pay per program depends on the program you are studying. For example, programs at the University of Luxembourg have a different tuition fee as those from the United Business School Institute of Luxembourg. This is because business programs, most of these universities in Luxembourg teach or are mostly involved, let me say, teach mostly business programs, while the University of Luxembourg teach a variety of programs. For example, you may tend to pay about 17,000 euros if you are studying at the United Business Institute, the Sacred Heart University in Luxembourg, or any other business institution. But if you are studying at the University of Luxembourg, you may tend to pay around 200 to 800 euros a year. All right. But at these other business schools where you can study economics, masters in business administration, accountancy, you can pay 17,000 euros plus a year. All right, so that is what you need to understand when looking for a university. Make sure you consider your budget. Look at the university in terms of programs, all right, to know what you are taking. And now the currency used in Luxembourg is the euro. Like I said before, you are going to spend at least 400 to 800 euros per year. But these universities with business related studies like accountancy, economics, management, or something like that, you will be spending around 4 to 5,000 euros a year. And some will even go up to that amount I mentioned, 17,000 euros a year. All right, and the common universities in Luxembourg, let me say, most of these universities like the University of Luxembourg will give you a residence to stay, let me say, will offer you an accommodation, all right, and it's the cheapest means possible to get accommodation in Luxembourg, because housing, as I know, or accommodation in Luxembourg is the most expensive. That is the reason you will find most of the workers in Luxembourg coming from nearby countries like Germany and Belgium to work, and most of them don't live in Luxembourg, most of the workers, all right. So students will choose school halls or school residence, and they will tend to pay around 350 to 500 pounds a month. That is how much a normal, let me say, accommodation in a university in Luxembourg will cost you. But if you choose to go for private accommodation, it's going to cost you more, probably 800 euros plus. All right. So students who come to study in Luxembourg also need to have. These are now some of the things you need to study. If you must study in Luxembourg, you need to start considering your health insurance or the travel insurance. But the travel insurance is what you are using to travel, but the health insurance is what you will be using in Luxembourg. And remember, I said in Luxembourg you have a lot of opportunities, but you need a health insurance, all right. And if you don't have the health card in Luxembourg, what the citizens of Luxembourg are using, where you will be recharging each month, all right, you will need to buy an additional insurance coverage, all right. That is what you need for your insurance in Luxembourg. Then if you have a problem with regards to the insurance or any further question when it comes to requirements, please, you may ask your university so that they can guide you and provide further assistance to you. All right. Now, how do you study in Luxembourg? First of all, like I said, I mentioned those universities at the beginning, and the cheapest seems to be the University of Luxembourg. Admissions is going to commence in January 2022 up till around March or April. The first thing you need now to do is apply for a program. Check all the universities, look at their budget, then you apply for a program, submit your documents, and you wait for results. As soon as you get a reply from the university, they may ask you to pay tuition fee deposit. All right, and they may ask you not to pay. That is, the university, your university, they may ask you not to pay tuition fee deposit. And for the University of Luxembourg, if you get admissions at the University of Luxembourg, you may not pay too much money, because, like I said, most of the programs are 200 euros. Okay, so now the next thing you need to do is to apply for a visa. When you are applying for a visa, make sure you follow very well to find out which embassy is in your home country that can process the Luxembourg visa, because most African countries don't have it. So a second embassy, or let me say a second or third party, may come in to process the visa, or you go to another country. So for the visa, if you don't come from the European Union, or you are not a member from the EEAR country, or if your country is not from EEAR Union, you are going to apply for a student visa. All right, you need a visa to go to Luxembourg. And if you are from any other country, you would also need a visa to go to Luxembourg. Those that don't need a visa to move to Luxembourg are just the European Union students and students from EEAR community. All right. For the visa information, you will need to get more clarity from your university. All right. When you apply, they are going to tell you every information. Like I said before, the languages in Luxembourg are not, or let me say, there is no particular language in Luxembourg. They have three official languages, which is the French, yes, is the language I was forgetting. They also have the German, and they also have the Luxembourgish, okay? But a minority, very few English people are available in Luxembourg, and they speak English. Now, you also need to know that their mother tongue are part of these three. Inside of these three, the French, the German, and the Luxembourgish. Luxembourgish is the mother tongue, all right, and almost all the Luxembourg residents speak this language. Though business is conducted in the French language, and most of their schools is done, or let me say, lectures are conducted in German, but you will still find universities with English taught programs, all right, and the higher education in Luxembourg is delivered bilingually. That is to say, sorry guys, I'm not feeling too well. That is to say, you may get schools that will teach you in German and English, You may get schools that will teach you in French and German. You may get schools that will teach you in French and English, and you may get schools that will teach you in English and German. All right. No matter what language you choose to study in, you will have to provide evidence of proficiency. That is to say, if you are studying English or English and German, of course, if your program is in English language, provide your IELTS score to show that you can speak English, all right? If your own language is in German, that is the language of instruction of your study program, provide a German language of at least a B1 or a B2 to show that you know you can at least understand German to the level where you can continue studying in your university, all right? And that is how it works for you. And studying in Luxembourg is a good choice, or let me say, you stand a chance to learn a new language like the Luxembourgish or even the German or the French language if you don't know yet how to speak any of these, and potentially finish your degree with an advanced knowledge in any of the three languages if at all you pay attention to it. Remember, hard work and dedication is very important. Communicating with locals and some other students in the three language is a perfect way to practice it if you must learn. All right, I used to learn Turkish, and I must assure you that I was always learning from YouTube. In school, when I speak to them, they laugh, but they correct me, and that was how I learned it. And if you have one extra language, at least that is an advantage for you. One man from the UK, he was a tourist I met in one country. He told me that if I am opportune to learn three or more languages, I am on the safe side. That it's very good to learn a language. The man was from Manchester, and I took the advice very seriously. Now, you must understand that the capital of Luxembourg, which is the Luxembourg city, is the home of over 116,000 people and is the most populated city, all right, in Luxembourg. Since its creation, it has some good touristic sites like the Luxembourg Castle, all right, and which was established by Franks, all right. Luxembourg, like I said, is very rich in culture and cultural diversity, all right, and UNESCO is also in this place. That is to say, UNESCO is also located in Luxembourg and in the city of Luxembourg. And let me say, most international research centers or universities in Luxembourg were founded around 1998 to 2003, all right. And let me say, and courses are taught in French, English, and German. So that is to say, before you even apply for a university in Luxembourg, you need to check some of these schools because most of them were not created at the same time. So if you don't check to know which came before which or which is expensive than which, you may fall in a trap where you will get an admission and your tuition fee is highly expensive, especially when it concerns agents. Those of you who will be using agents you are not familiar with, you have to be careful because most of you will get problems, especially with some of the agents when it comes to the procedures you made. Like I said, most of the institutions in in Luxembourg, sorry, I was mentioning Germany, is a neighbor, not in Luxembourg. Most of the institutions teach just MBA programs or economics or business programs to be precise or to be generalize it. All right. Then when you get the visa, you have to apply for, or let me say book your flight and you move to Luxembourg and study. All right. Remember, as an international student, you may also get job opportunities in Luxembourg, and as you finish your studies, it may take you some time, maybe probably 6 months to 1 year, to get a permanent residency in Luxembourg after working. That is to say, if you study for 2 to 3 years, or 2, 3, or 4 years, you finish your studies, you will work again like 1 or 2 years. If the company accepts you, they are going to tell you the conditions when you are about to apply for your permanent residency. But remember that before you apply for your permanent residency, you need to know the language tip to tip, all right? That is the Luxembourgish on your fingertips. That is, you can speak very well. If you don't know how to speak very well, you can't apply for a permanent residency in Luxembourg. So that is what you need to understand. Guys, I am going to end the video here for today. At least I have stressed a lot. Remember, admissions is going to start by January 2022, all right, and ends in April. So try to verify which requirement is needed of you. If you must study in English, get an IELTS or a TOEFL score. Get a German test, B1 or B2. If you must study in German, get a French test, all right, if you must study in French. And that is what I think you need for now. Alright, until we meet again, guys, stay tuned. Please do not go without subscribing if you haven't subscribed yet. Thank you so much. Bye bye.